Take a break from your busy schedule and join Harold Sala for Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living.
Dear Dr. Sala writes an 8-year-old friend of Guidelines. My name is Aimee, and I have a problem with my friends. Missy won't like me if I like Aimee. I like both of them, but I don't understand. I don't know what to do. Could you tell me? Signed, Aimee, your 8-year-old friend. One of the greatest compliments I receive, at least from my point of view, is the number of children and youth who respond to Guidelines. Aimee has a problem. She's 8 years old. Her problem, though, is very much of an adult problem as well. How do you handle the politics of friendship? How do you maintain balance when one friend doesn't like another? That's not necessarily a child's problem. Scores of adults draw lines of friendship and put people on one side or the other. Aimee, it's easy for me to suggest that you try to explain you want to be friends with both girls, and that you're not going to make a decision to be nice to the one and not so nice to the other. But it doesn't always make the problem go away. I remember when my daughter Bonnie was about your age, a girl who had been her best friend decided she didn't like her anymore. Bonnie was crushed. All attempts at friendship were rebuffed. She never knew why. We live in a broken, sinful world, and that fact often creates bitterness, hatred, and revenge. Revenge among people who don't understand the high cost of living with brokenness. There is one thing which I hope you can learn, Aimee. We don't have to make decisions and order our lives based on what other people think of us. It's liberating to know that no one in all the world can make you stop loving him or her. No one can make you choose to turn your back and hurt someone else. One of the great lessons that parents can teach is that in spite of the consequences, it's okay to be you, to make your own decisions, to choose to do right no matter what others do. Jesus made it so plain that we ought to treat others as we would like them to treat us. We call it the Golden Rule. He said, "In everything do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." The fact is, we grow up and live in a sinful world, and apart from the grace of God which changes our lives, we are constantly going to have to cope with wrong and injustice. You can't control what people do to you, but you can be fully in control of how you choose to treat them. I'm thinking of a brother who shared his heart saying, "I was happily married and I thought we were getting along pretty well when I came home one night and my wife told me, 'I don't want to be married to you anymore.'" He said that everything he had worked for was gone with that one sentence. "I just couldn't make her happy from that point on," he sadly recounted. Aimee, there's one more thing that I'd like to share with you. My experience has been that if someone will be a friend with you only if you refuse to be a friend to someone else, well, eventually that person may side with someone else against you. So if you should lose the friendship of that person, you haven't lost a real friend. You've only lost the friendship of an acquaintance. Now, I know that's a hard lesson for an 8-year-old girl to learn, but it's one that you can benefit from for the rest of your life. I also want to remind you that Jesus will be a friend who stays closer than a brother. He said, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." So we may say, "The Lord is my helper. I shall not fear what men shall do unto me." Remember, Jesus said, "In everything do to others as you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets."
You've just heard Dr. Harold Sala with Guidelines, a 5-minute commentary on living. If you would like to listen to the program again, download a copy, subscribe to our e-commentary, or view other resources, visit guidelines.org. We would like to hear from you too. You can email us at info@guidelines.org. That's info@guidelines.org. Thanks for listening, and we invite you to join us again for the next edition of Guidelines.